So, we're doing this again. You know how this works. Or do you? You know, I was thinking about skipping the rules this time and not explaining it again because I've already explained it the previous 2 times I did this. But then I thought, this channel that I'm making doesn't have a lot of views. And every time someone watches this channel, it's like they're watching it. It's like new people are watching for the first time because this channel is not very established. And I think most of the views that I get, especially in my recent videos, have been from people who have never seen my channel before. So each time I put out a video on my channel, it's like a whole new experience, someone seeing it for the very first time. And the people seeing it for the very first time are more than the people that are returning that have seen the previous one. Meaning no one really knows what's going on here, and they definitely don't know about the other 2 videos I've done on other superpowers before. This is the 3rd installment, so 3rd time's a charm. I guess I'll explain it again, but maybe in the future I'll just throw up a quick little something on screen to let you know the rules. But before that,
Telepathy.
in past videos I've explained what the power is too, but I don't really think I need to. I mean, you know what
Telepathy
is, right? You know,
Telepathy.
the power that Patrick Stewart used to stop Darkseid in order to prevent Madara from collecting the Dragon Balls. Yeah, that power. You know how it works. Read people's minds, enter their psyche, which, by the way, one of the rules is that you're not supposed to be evil. One could argue that reading anyone's thoughts is evil, and that you shouldn't read people's minds and you shouldn't know what's going on. But don't worry, I got some ideas and I think you'll like them. Well, I think toward the end it kind of gets a little dicey, but hey, it's for the good of mankind or somebody. So, and now for the rules, which I think I just said. You can't be evil. That's basically it. So here's the scenario. You have telepathy and you also need to become rich. Use one thing to do the other thing. That's it. I forget if there was another rule. I know no being evil. I thought there was one more thing. Wasn't there something else I added before? Oh, the second one. I almost forgot. The first rule is don't be evil. The second rule is the world doesn't treat you odd. You know, if you had powers, if you're talking realistically, people would want to destroy you. They would want to take you out. They'd want to, you know, lock you in a cage and experiment on you. That's the second rule I forgot, because that would also make it boring. If you had powers and they were weak enough to where people could take you out, the government could take you out, then you'd be on the run your whole life, and that would be the scenario. If you could overwhelm the government, then you would just be fighting the government and fighting everybody on Earth, which would also boring. We're gonna focus on making money, and all these other scenarios pull you in other directions, and that's why those are the 2 rules. Okay, don't be evil. The world doesn't react, you know, crazy to you having powers. Yeah, okay, and with that, that is it. Those are the rules. Without further ado, here's how to make money if you had telepathy. Now, the first one is entertainment, like doing tricks, carnival tricks. You know what's funny? I said this exact thing, or I think something very similar to it in my last video. It was about fire, and I said you could do tricks. And in the beginning, I think, I might remove it if it becomes a staple, because then I would say it as the first thing in every video. Every power you have, you would just try to entertain someone. But you know, this one, you can entertain them in a specific way. Like you could just tell somebody, hey, if I guess the number you're thinking of, whatever number it is, or even whatever thing you're thinking of, you give me $1,000. If they agree to it, you guess right, or you don't guess at all. You just read their mind, and then boom. Easy cash. I suspect that if you say this for like high amounts of money, like 1,000 or even more, if you actually guess what they're thinking, they might not give it to you. Like they might be like,
oh, well, you know, you guessed it, but it's in my other pants.
Like I think people would flake. So maybe you could do like a contract, but then that would be kind of suspicious, because it's like, why are you writing an entire contract for just a little fun guessing thing? You can also do a thing where like you have a show and there's an audience, and you travel around doing different shows, and you go in the audience and like read people's minds in the audience of who's thinking what, and just amaze them. I will say though that I don't know how fun this show would be, because how would you prove to the other people in the audience that you could read the person in the audience that you called out? Like if there's a bunch of people in a crowd and you read one person's mind, that one person would be amazed, but all of the other people would not be amazed, because they're like, oh, that's cool, you read his mind, and you probably also gave him $10 before the show started. Like you would have to, like there's no way to amaze the person you're not mind reading. So they wouldn't care that much unless you read everyone's mind who was inside the show, which would take a while. I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about this, maybe a show wouldn't be the best idea. But hey, you can find some way to entertain people. Somewhere out there is going to watch what you're doing, make a YouTube video. Actually, they probably think it's fake. You know, now that I think about it, anytime you do this for a group of other people, they would think it's fake. That's showbiz. Right there. The second thing is a therapist. Now this is basically, you could help basically everybody. No matter what, anyone who has mental problems or going through something, I think you would be a benefit. Obviously you can get some training to help you out, but just reading what they're going through, you don't have to sit there and hear them talk for a while and sit on the little couch thing, you know what they do in therapists, and hear them just yammer on about when I was 5 and when I was 7. We can skip over all of that. Just let me read your mind. I got you. You can help people with relationships. You know, say a couple comes in and the guy says, hey, I think my wife might be cheating on me. Then you could say, actually, I know your wife is cheating on you because I just read her mind. Also, that kid isn't yours. You could also write a book with all the knowledge that you've learned over reading people's minds. And, you know, if you've been in a scenario and the scenario is the same every time, because every time you read their mind, you find out similar stuff about this problem that they have or that problem that they have. So then just put all that together, write a book, and become a best-selling author, and basically the best therapist in the entire world, helping everybody with their problems, helping people who maybe can't talk, if they have a problem with speech problems, don't even need to talk. I can just read your mind, know exactly what you're saying. I got you. Help people out. It's just, hey, a therapist is probably the thing that most people would think of. You know, if I didn't put those constraints, then you would think of robbing a bank. In any case, a therapist is a no-brainer, and you would definitely help many, many people. And of course, get paid handsomely, beautifully, majestically. How much do therapists get? Hold on, I didn't even look this up. How much do therapists make average year? Why am I seeing per hour? I'm not looking at per hour. Okay, well, I see a high end 120. That's great. That's great. So hear me out. I've been learning Arabic for a while now, and I'm actually kind of good at it. أستطيع أتكلم عربي ولكن قليلا فقط. Anyway, words are like concepts, right? Word represents a concept. Like, for example, the word water represents, you know, the liquid that you see, water. The word ma in Arabic represents water, the liquid, you know, that you see. The word agua, I think in Spanish, means water, which is again representing the liquid that you see. So all of these words represent a concept in your mind that you can think of, and it manifests in different ways in the word ma, in the word water, in the word agua, or some other language, whatever water means in that language. So if you skipped over the language that they say and just go into their mind, you can go right to the concept that they're thinking of, and then you could put that concept in someone else's mind, and bam, there's actually no need to even talk. Or maybe they can talk to keep, you know, the thoughts flowing, and you could just take all the concepts and put all those concepts in someone else's head, and then they could manifest those concepts in their language, and this person would manifest the concepts in their language. But you'd be transferring concepts. You actually wouldn't be transferring words. You'd just be transferring what the words represent in your head, and then you could translate. And you could be a translator. And by the way, I didn't look up how much translators make. Let's do that. That's less than that's less than a therapist. I mean, that makes sense, but you know. So perhaps instead of just working as like a random translator, I'm talking about you work for the president or, you know, international official government. Maybe you would get more there. Anyway, transferring the concepts so no one actually has to talk. You could be a translator and you could make money that way. And by the way, that directly correlates to the next thing, which is Yes, communicating with animals / taming them. So if you just transfer concepts and not actual language, then you could transfer what animals are thinking, whatever concepts they're thinking, and you don't have to understand the animal language, any of their grunts or any of their noises or whatever sounds they make or things that they do. Just read their mind. That way you can know what the animals are thinking. And then you could transfer that to people so you can communicate with animals yourself, and you can also pass the communication between others. And you can pass it back too. But animals probably don't understand as much. So there's not as many concepts to transfer back because there's way more concepts in human languages. But in any case, because I'm not saying that you could mind control with telepathy, I'm not going that far in this. You wouldn't be able to command the animals to do stuff, like control them and make them do stuff, but you can certainly communicate with them. I actually don't know how much money that would get you or how you would even make money doing that. I mean, you would be great with animals, but again, it's not mind control. So just because you can talk to them doesn't guarantee they'll like you. You know, if a lion's staring you down in the face, it doesn't matter if you can talk or not. You're lunch. You're basically steak. If you can talk, then you're talking steak. But maybe with communication, it would help you tame them and understand them better, understand what they want. And by the way, you can still implant thoughts into their mind. So you could bring a thought to their mind to maybe leave you alone, and hopefully they'll listen to it. You'd probably be the best with animals in the world, and I'm sure you could turn that into money making somehow. Someone's gonna pay for it. You know what though? You know what? By reading here's the thing. Instead of just taming animals, by reading their minds, you can know exactly why they're doing the things that they're doing, or what is their thought process, like what are they trying to accomplish. And then you'd probably make huge leaps in science by studying animal behavior, and then you could write a book about it, bestseller again, and basically you would advance the study of animals, crazy far. So you'd probably become famous in that sense, and you'd probably make lots of money. So yeah, I could see that eventually probably get a Nobel Prize or something. Is that what they give people when they do stuff like this? Nobel Prize? And I could see you potentially becoming a millionaire based off of your works, and also famous probably in the scientific animal world for anyone in the future that wants to reference what you did. So yeah, you probably become rich and famous. You probably go on talk shows. Oh yeah, I'm seeing this now I'm seeing it. It's coming together. The ingredients are coming. This could make you a lot. Yeah, taming, communicating animals. I actually didn't think this was that great in the beginning, but just thinking about it while doing the video, probably should have thought of these points before, but I'm just winging it. And you know what? It's working. Okay, so this is where we start getting into whether it's evil or not, or unethical, or would bother anybody. Business and trading. First of all, you would nail job interviews because you know exactly what they're thinking, exactly what they want from you, exactly what they're thinking in the moment. Maybe if you say something and they're like, oh man, I don't like that, then you could walk that statement back a little bit in the interview and just basically just be exactly what they want, so they'll hire you. Exactly what you're looking for. I'm that guy. You want someone who can do this, I can do that. You want someone who can do that, then I can do this, that, and I can do whatever. So you'd ace it. Also, if you're a businessman, it would be good for negotiating deals, because say you're like doing a deal, you would know exactly how far the person is willing to go. Maybe they have a number in their mind that if he says anything over this, I'm just gonna walk away. Then you just know to not say that number and just say something a little bit before that. So you could still nail the deal and you wouldn't lose the deal or the sale. You'd also be great in sales because you could read the person's mind and know what they're looking for, know what they really want, know what is bothering them, know what's their concern, all that kind of stuff. So you'd be great in sales, you'd be great in negotiations, you'd be great in job interviews, and of course, reading people's minds, reading political people's minds, like politicians, and reading just rich people's minds to see what they're going to do in their company, and then make trades on the stock market based on what they're thinking. So basically it would be like insider trading, only you weren't given inside information, you just figured it out yourself. Like read a CEO's mind. The CEO says we're gonna launch this, but we haven't made an announcement yet. When we do make an announcement, the stock's probably gonna skyrocket. So just buy the stock, read the guy's mind, know what's going on, buy the stock, wait till they announce it, boom, sell it immediately, cash. just from reading someone's mind. Read the politician's mind, see what they're gonna do, see what policies they're about to enact, the things that they're about to push forward. Basically, you'd be able to kind of, in a way, see the future because you know what all the elite people, all the rich people, all the politicians are gonna do next, and you can make all your moves accordingly to what they're going to do. So that's the way you would get rich, and that would be, yeah, that would be effective. You know what's crazy? This is not one of the points, but this is something I just thought just now. Speaking of secrets, you could read their minds and see their secrets and then blackmail them into giving you money to keep their secrets. I will say though, the reason I didn't think of that probably is because the first rule, which is don't be evil, and you're blackmailing. But then there's some people that's like,
well, is it really evil if you're doing it to an evil person?
Look, I don't get into this stuff. So next. Okay, the next is law enforcement / military / detective / war / all this kind of stuff. First of all, you'd be an excellent interrogator because you could just read their thoughts. You could just know exactly what they're thinking. You know, did he do it? He did it. Did he do it? No, he didn't do it. Did he do it? He said he didn't do it, but he did it. He said he did do it, and he did do it. He said he didn't do it, but he did do it. Basically, there's no need for the long interrogation of someone just lying to your face. Were you the one who did this? No, I didn't do it. We have witnesses saying you were there. No, I wasn't there. We have your DNA. That's not mine. We have video of you stabbing the guy. It wasn't me. Like, bro, I can read your mind. You did it. You did it. You're going to jail. It's over. It's done. Now, I will say there is one caveat, one thing to consider is that just because you know what someone's thinking doesn't mean you necessarily know what happened. And that's important when it comes to justice. Like, for example, someone could think that they did something and they're not lying to you. That's actually what they think happened, and that's not what happened. So just because they think something, you know that they're not lying, but you actually don't know if they're telling the truth. All that you know is that they're not lying. Well, they're telling the truth of what they saw, or what they think they saw, but you don't know if this is what happened. All you know is that they're not a liar. So that might not be the end of things, just being able to read their thoughts. And so things would get more complicated still, and reading people's thoughts would not result in super fast KO trial where you just blow them out of the water and it's just over. Things can get complicated. Even when you have mind reading powers, things are still complicated. You basically have to know everything. You not just be able to read their minds, be able to go back in time and see what actually happened. Maybe I should have put that in my first video I did in this series, which was how to make money if you had the time stone. But in any case, you'd also be an excellent detective because you could read people's minds and get to the bottom of things, find out, somebody, who sold you the drugs. Well, I can just read your mind. It was him. So why'd you sell it to him? Whatever, get to the bottom of it, you got them. Spy operations, you wouldn't even need to do an operation. Just go up to the person, just walk past them and read their mind and take whatever information they have, and that's the whole spy operation. You got the information. And of course, war. This would be great for war because you could read the minds of your enemies and give that information to your country to take out the other country. Now here goes somebody in the comments.
Well, is that really evil or good depending how you look at it? Because it's war, and war is a hard time and it's people fighting, and one could argue, are you on the right side of the war or you're on the wrong side of the war?
I don't know because we didn't define the war. I just said war. I didn't say a particular war. For hypothetical sake, let's just say that whatever war that you're fighting is the correct one and you're the good guy, and the other people that you're fighting are just absolutely pure evil. Then you're good. I told you it was going to get dicey when you get to the last few points, and it definitely is. Now we're into the straight up. This is breaking rule number. Is it breaking rule number 1? This is really subjective. It's really getting into that realm. Let's just do this. I actually put this, talked about this earlier, but politicians, like I said before, you could take their secrets and blackmail them. And maybe not even blackmail them, just they would probably just do things for you to keep you happy because you know everything. But there's a downside to this. They could just kill you. So what you would have to do is create some kind of device that has all of the information and say nobody knows how this this works. And if I die, it gets released, something like that. And then probably they would do stuff for you. Maybe you'd get some deals, you get some money, you can live lavishly, mansions. They probably do whatever. They have plenty of money from the citizens to fund whatever lifestyle you want. So the only thing about this is that it could backfire, because if they ever figure out how to prevent your thing from going off if you die, then they could just kill you. They could determine that it's better just to kill you than it is to go along with this giving you money stuff, make you disappear. Government would make you disappear off the face of the earth, shoot you into space. You'd be the first person to go to Mars and stay there. So yeah, it could definitely backfire. And it's also really getting into the gray area, because you would do this to politicians who were bad. And of course, you'd stay away from the good ones, right? Because you don't want to mess with the good ones. The good politicians are, you know, stay away from those guys. But the bad ones, the bad ones you'd go after. And so you could argue, is it evil to do this to the bad ones? Is it just evil all around? Who's to say? Well, now this one isn't really about making money. All of the rest of them were related to using it to make money. That's what this whole video is about. But this one I thought was just really funny, really not funny, but like interesting and fun. Maybe not fun. It's probably not fun, but it would be extremely interesting. Although there would be absolutely no money in making it. Let me stop talking about it and just tell you. It's going rogue. And what I mean by rogue is, here's what you do. You go to like a United Nations meeting or something. I don't know. You go to a place where all the leaders are, or you just go one by one to each country. Read the minds of all the world leaders and figure out all the secrets of every country, the biggest secrets of the US, of China, of Russia, of all the countries in the Middle East, of all the African countries, Canada too, throw in Canada, throw in Mexico, throw in all the countries and get all of their secrets, put it all on like one document file, whatever, release all of it, and just watch the world burn. Wouldn't that be crazy? All secrets are out. There are no more secrets. Secrets don't exist. Everybody knows everything. Just put it all out and just watch the chaos. There would be no money in this. I mean, I can't think of right now how you would make money from the world burning or from chaos ensuing because of all of this. Now everyone knows about all the stuff that you did, that you're going to, that you plan to do, you know, what you really think about this and that and whatever. It would just be chaos. It'd be absolute chaos. And I think that would just be interesting to watch. Wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it be crazy? Right? Yeah. And with that, we come to a close. That is how you would make money if you had telepathy. I'm sure there were many other ways that you could think that I didn't. If you know some ways that I didn't mention that you think would be cool on how to make money if you had telepathy, put it in the comments so I can read it, because I think it's interesting. If you want to see more, another power, put that in the comment section as well. I might make it. If you like the video, give it a like, subscribe, and turn on the bell, all that good stuff. And man, do I have anything else to say? That's all I got for you. But the world is filled with people, and those people are filled with ideas. And so there's probably 1,000 ways you could do it. But for this video, 7's good enough. See you next time. Peace.
I see you, really think this feeling. I see you.